words I think you're having right now.
The red heifer purification ceremony ends.
Thank you.
However, some rabbis say that just because
I'm studying with my husband, and he was doing studying, and I mean, he really got into what the truth is, and where do I need to go, what do I need to do, so we started reading and studying, and it led us right here.
I've been here since I was little. I came with my parents.
Are your parents?
No, they're gone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but, I had to do what was right for me. I couldn't do what was right for them, and, I proved this to myself. I proved everything, and this is my belief and my faith.
Well, that was part of a documentary called Mind Control. Maria Berry is the producer. Thank you so much for allowing us to use that. Now, the leader of the group you just saw, Israel Hawkins, has something to say to me. Let's hear it.
Dr. Phil, this is Israel Hawkins of the House of Yahweh in Abilene, Texas. First off, let me apologize for not being able to attend the interview that you have booked. I'm really not interested in bashing the people that's going to be on your show. I know each and every one of them, and I do love each and every one of those people, and I do hope to see them in Yahweh's kingdom. However, they did leave the house of Yahweh and for their own reasons, and I'm sure some of those reasons will come out on your show. Very soon, a nuclear baby, as we call it in the book, The Nuclear Baby, will be turned loose in a fourth part of the earth in and around the great river Euphrates. It will kill. Nuclear war and famine will kill a third part of man over that fourth part of the earth. This is brought on, Yahweh says, in Isaiah 24, 1 through 6, it's caused because the laws of Yahweh have been ignored and rebelled against by the religions of the world. I appreciate it very much that you played this prophecy on your show. Soon you will see it come to pass. Thank you. In the name of Yahweh.
Now, let me say that that is a part of the statement, but I think it's very representative of the statement. I'm going to put the entire statement on drphil.com if you want to hear it, because I'm not trying to edit any of the content out, but just based for time, it just shared some more thoughts about the prophecy of the nuclear baby. The nuclear baby that is going to be unleashed soon. But I'll let you, and I'm not trying to color that in any way, I'll let you hear it for yourself on drphil.com. You wanted to respond to someone?
It's the same message. If someone says, mom's going to die, and then a year later, mom's going to die, and then, another year later, mom's going to die, and then another year later, mom, and then finally mom dies. Like, I told you mom was going to die. That's what he pulls.
Rick Ross is a cult interventionist. Now, he's been researching cults for 26 years. He says he's helped more than 400 people transition out of this very consuming situation. What's your take on the House of Yahweh?
Well, I've received a lot of complaints about it that would line up with what Norm has said and what others have said. I regard it, in my opinion, as a destructive cult, and I've testified in court against the group to get children out of harm's way. And I've seen the marriage manual to train young girls to be wives. This is a totalitarian group. Whatever Israel Hawkins says is right, and whatever he says is wrong is wrong. There's no accountability. There's no democratic church government. And once you become submerged and isolated within their compound and cut off from your family, you have nothing to rely upon except what they tell you the truth is, as seen through their eyes. So they twist the scriptures, which of course warn us about false prophets, false teachers. And boy, I think that Israel Hawkins is a false prophet, unless you consider prophet as P-R-O-F-I-T. If you look at it, if you look at it from that standpoint, he's a multimillionaire, and while his followers live in abject poverty in trailers, wondering where their next meal might come from, he's got a couple of big houses that he rambles around in.
And people wonder, because we've talked about this, people wonder, and I know people are at home saying, how in the world could you ever sell that to somebody? And we've talked about 4 different things that you say are so important in mind control. And number 1 is to control their, to get them under control.
Yeah, the family that first appeared talked about how their daughter was and sister was cut off from them.
Right.
So what I get complaints from families is they can't communicate with their loved ones that are in a group like this.
And second is to break down the sense of self, right?
Yes, to break down their sense of self-esteem, to literally attack them as individuals on the basis that they are wrong and that the group is right.
And then they instill, third, a new sense of identity that comports with what they want that person's definition and role to be.
Yes, and it's reinforced by the group environment where you get no feedback except from other members who tell you that they understand the right behavior and the right way of being.
And the fourth, and maybe it's the most powerful tool of all, is to isolate the individual so they can't get input from somebody else to say, hey, wait a minute, come on.
Yes, and in the Hawkins group, you can see the unreasonable fears that members are indoctrinated to believe, that there's a wall of fear that keeps them trapped inside the environment of the group.
We'll be right back.